stop right now if you're about to select a real estate agent to sell your house or your piece of land. Because here's the thing, most people do it absolutely wrong. And in this video, I'm showing you how to choose your best real estate agent when selling your piece of real estate. There's one thing you can do when you sell your house or a piece of land or whatever kind of real estate property it is that most people do wrong, and as a result of that, they're leaving tens of thousands of dollars on the table, and that is how you select your realtor for selling. Most people do it completely wrong. They simply ask their neighbor or their best friend or their mother-in-law or somebody like that to list the property for them. Now, if your neighbor or realtor or friend or mother-in-law is the top performing real estate agent in your market, good, then you did it right. If he or she is not, stop and watch this video and don't do anything before, because in this video I'll show you exactly how to pick the Michael Jordans of real estate realtors to help you sell your property in the fastest time at the top prices. Selecting the right realtor is really the difference between you getting paid top dollar and no hassles and get paid in the next 6 weeks, or you're sitting on whatever the piece of real estate, a house or a piece of land you're selling for the next 6 months, having to discount price 3 times, having all kinds of hassles, and perhaps having to fire that realtor and still not sold that property. That's how important it is to pick the right realtor. So in order to pick the right realtor, let's first ask ourselves the right questions. Now here's the thing. You can sell your own property, no problem. However, you don't have a network in the market. You're not part of a big brokerage, all of which has agents with buyers that are looking to buy the property. If you sell your own property yourself, what you do is you simply put it on the market and you're hoping the right person sees it. Well, that's not an option, and you already know that. That's why you made the choice of picking a realtor. Now, even though I'm a real estate investor and I flipped over almost 5,000 pieces of land and many houses, and I still, to this day, I use a realtor when selling houses, and I don't use a realtor when selling land except for very specific cases, and then I'm going to pick the Michael Jordan of all realtors. And I'm always picking the Michael Jordan of all realtors when selling a house or commercial property. And here's the reason why. A good realtor is connected. A good realtor has a buyer database. A good realtor is a master marketer. A good realtor also knows how to follow up properly. A good realtor knows how to show a house in a way that it sells. And a good realtor knows how to close the deal and actually make it go all the way to the end, because lots of deals fall apart in the middle of escrow too. So a good realtor actually has a lot of benefits, and that's why rule number one, you should not pick an amateur. So your sister-in-law, you love her, we love her, absolutely, she should not be selling your house or your real estate unless she's an expert in that field, and that's all she does, and she's one of the top performers. If she does it part-time, not what you want to do. I'm sorry, tell her, I love you, but listen, this is a $400,000 house. I'm needing every dollar out of thing, and I need it sold fast, and I'm going to hire the Michael Jordan of all realtors for that property. Sorry about that, but I just can't hire you for it. It's a hard conversation, but you have to have it, because chances are your sister-in-law or your brother-in-law, gender neutral here, will not be able to sell it as fast as the top guy does, particularly in a market that is not the hyper market that we used to have in 2020, 21, and parts of 2022. Right? In markets where you actually have to give concessions and things like that, the actual professionals stand out. In a market where everything sells with 10 offers or 20 offers and $50,000 over asking, you don't need to be a good realtor. But in today's market, you have to be. Also, you have to distinguish between the asset classes, and even within asset class with price points. The same guy that is the best in the market to sell $250,000 houses in working class neighborhoods is not the same guy that knows how to sell $3 million houses in a luxury neighborhood. It's just not. The clientele is different. The way you need to follow up is different. The way you need to present yourself is different. The way you talk to them is different. What they're looking for is different. It's a completely different job. So you can't hire the same person for the same kind of things. On top of it, what if it's a different asset class? What if it's houses versus land? House realtors are notoriously horrible in selling land, because they don't know how to sell it. Land has to be sold in a completely different way than houses. Houses are sold with pictures, staging, open houses, and those kind of things. Land is being marketed based on what you can do with it. So it's a completely different thing, particularly if the land is outside of the bigger cities. If it's an infill lot, it's still somewhat similar, but if it's outside of the city, then now you're talking about where's the next hiking, how far is it to the interstate, how far does it take to get into town, where's the next church, where's the next doctor's office, where's the next grocery store, how far am I from the little town here, from the lake over here, and all these kind of different things. Because the land itself plays much less a role than actually the surroundings of it, because nobody buys the land for the land. People buy the land for what they can do with the land and where they can go from the land and how they can enjoy the neighborhood that they're in. A house sells because it's a split floor plan or 4-bedroom, 2-bath home or 2-story home, or it has XYZ views and things like that. So the features of the house sell versus here, what's around it sells. House realtors don't understand that. As a result, the same guy that's a top house realtor over here would be a nightmare to sell this. Keep that in mind. So with that all said, how do we pick the best realtor? And here's one way that you can do that is the most foolproof and safest way to find the best realtor, and that's the following way. Number one, you open Zillow. Number two, you go into the area where the property is that you want to sell. So if that's a house and you go into the neighborhood and you see all these properties that sold over there, the next thing is there, you pick a house that is kind of like your house. Again, we want to look for the people that sell similar houses to what you have for sale, or similar pieces of land to what you have for sale. You can do the same thing on the land side. So you go, find a property that's similar to yours, you click on it, you open it up on Zillow, and then what you do is you scroll down. You scroll down all the way until you get to a link or a button that says, Get to Know Your Neighborhood. And when you go click on that, what comes up is a page that actually shows you all the different realtors that are selling in that neighborhood. So right there in front of you is a list of all the people that are selling or have sold houses or land in that neighborhood. And what you do next is very simply, you pull up one of these people after the other. You see how many reviews they have. Somebody who is in business for 5 years and has 3 reviews, it's a stay-at-home person that does a deal a year or sells a house a year. It's not your realtor. Somebody that has 640 reviews and it's been in business for 20 years or for 10 years, that's a full-time realtor that knows exactly what they're doing. So the next thing you do is you pick the ones that have a lot of reviews, pick the ones that have a lot of listings, and then you pull up their listings and you go both in sold and listed and you see how many have they sold? How long has it taken for them to sell? You see all of that. All of that data is available. You see they had a property that was listed on March 1st and it sold on April 1st, 30 days. Okay, well, that sold quickly. You see that again and again and again for that same person. You know that this is a good realtor. Now you look at what does he sell the asset class that you're selling. So if you have a 3-bedroom, 2-bath home and they sold a lot of, like for $300,000, and they sold a lot of properties in that price range in your neighborhood, you just found your perfect guy or lady. On the land side, it's exactly the same thing. There's usually not too many realtors out there that specialize on land. So what you're going to go is exactly the same thing. You look around, you look at the reviews, you look up, you find people that have sold land. So you're only searching for land properties, you scroll down, you look at the realtors that have land properties for sale, you look at them and you see if one has one piece of land, but then he has 95 other properties that are all houses, probably not your guy. You can also look at the listing. If the listing probably looks crappy, it's definitely not your guy. If you see somebody has like 5, 10, 15 pieces of land that they sold, perhaps they have 5 listed and they have perhaps another 10, 15 houses, now it becomes interesting. Because again, you rarely find a land realtor that only sells land. Mostly what you find is a realtor that has learned how to sell land really, really successfully, but also takes on houses. So therefore you find usually it's like a 50-50 combination, but you see that he does a big part of his business, 50%, with land. When you find that person, you do the exact same analysis. You see how typically long does it take to sell them, what was the initial asking price, what does it sell for. All of that is available on Zillow. You simply scroll down on the listing, pull up the listing, scroll down, you see when they had price changes and so on. And if you're satisfied with that, if it looks like that person is a great realtor, that's the person you contact. And then comes the last part of it, and the last part is, do they respond to your inquiries? Because think about that. If you want to give them business, You want to hire them as a realtor and they don't even respond to you, why would you hire them? Because if they don't even respond to you who want to pay them, want to give them a listing, they're not going to respond to your buyers. So make sure you pay close attention to their ability and their speed to respond to you. Because if they respond to you quickly, they will also most likely respond to the buyers quickly. All right, so if you enjoyed this, then I can't wait for you to leave me a comment of how you picked your best realtor out there, how fast you sold the property. And with that said, also, if you're interested in learning how to make real estate an actual profession, how to actually build wealth with real estate, I actually wrote a book called Forever Cash, where you can simply go to freelandbook.com and download it right here and learn how we built a 9-figure empire from coming as immigrants to the United States, and how you can also build generational wealth through real estate from the comfort of your home. All right, see you at the next video.